Do you know how much it costs for a new furnace and air conditioner? It's a lot. More than an arm and more than a leg. It's a lot. So today I'm going to give you 5 top tips on how to avoid having to replace them too soon. Hey, welcome back. I am so glad you could join me today. Today I wanted to talk with you about some basic homeowner, even renter, furnace and air conditioning maintenance that you can do to minimize the chances of something going wrong with your equipment prematurely. The furnace and air conditioner is a huge expense for any homeowner or even a renter who's responsible for the property. Um, so you want to make sure you're taking care of it as good as you can. Now, I understand that most people are not HVAC technicians. I certainly am not an HVAC technician at all. I have very basic knowledge, but the one thing that my dad taught me, and this is lesson 4 in Lessons from Dad, is to always maintain your furnace and air conditioner. They're expensive. For a low end budget model, you could be looking at 4 or 5 thousand for the set. Average houses could be 6, 8, 9,000 for a set. If you're in upper echelon homes where you have multiple air conditioners or multiple furnaces, who knows what people have nowadays, you could be talking 10, 15, $20,000 for all the equipment to be installed, serviced, and what have you. But there are some simple things that you can do to take care of a furnace yourself, and I'm going to let you know what those are today. First of all, you always want to make sure you're checking and changing your furnace filter. If you don't know what that is, it's usually about a 2 foot by 1.5 foot piece of corrugated fabric that filters the air going into the furnace. You're going to want to check that. I'm going to put a picture up here to show you what it kind of looks like. But make sure you're checking that. And also make sure, at least for me anyway, I always change my furnace filters every 60 days. Now, if you get one of those big fancy $50 filters, obviously that's going to be pretty cost prohibitive. But in my particular furnace, I can buy cheap filters, and I can buy them in 3 packs, for $10, $15, wherever you pick them up when they're on sale. And that'll give me 6 months of use out of a $10 or $15 purchase. And those filters are cheap compared to what it costs to replace a motor or to do any other sort of maintenance that would have to be done because you don't change the filter. The filter is what allows the air to flow through. So definitely check and change your filter. Number 2, you want to check your burners at least once a year. Before the season starts, like right now, we're ending out summer, getting ready for fall, and we're going to be turning the heat on soon. So check your burners. There should be a little plate on the front of the furnace. And what you can do is just take that front cover off the furnace and just take a look at the burners and see whether or not any spiders or anything have produced webs in there, because you're going to know the burners, they look like little jets, and the fuel flows through them before it's ignited, and that's what heats your home. So check those burners out. Make sure that they're not rusty. Make sure that there's no spider webs in there or any kind of corrosion. If there is, you can either change it yourself if you're qualified to do so or capable of doing so, or you can call a service person. But it's a good thing to just check once or twice a year just to make sure they're okay. Next, you're also going to want to think about getting your vents cleaned, maybe annually, maybe semi-annually, whatever your need is. But make sure you get your vents cleaned, because you also don't want to have allergens running through your house and all kinds of dust build up in there. And I've even heard of cases where the dust buildup is so severe that it actually starts fires and things, and we don't want that. So make sure you get your vents blown out and cleaned out. They have companies that do that. They'll come out and charge you X amount of dollars, 50, 100 bucks, $150, depending on where you live and what's going on with you. But get those vents cleaned. Also, as I said before, get some regular maintenance from an HVAC technician. Have them come out once a year, once every other year, whatever your budget allows and whatever you can do and whatever situation you have. Get them out there just to check everything out with your furnace to make sure everything's running in optimal conditions. One thing that you can do as an individual is to also check your burner igniter and also your flame sensor. Those are two little objects. I'll throw some pictures up here to show you what they look like. The flame sensor just basically tells the furnace controller that the flames are on. The igniter is like a little glow stick, and when it glows, it ignites the fuel in your furnace that allows the furnace to turn on. And these items can get corrosion over time. So what you want to do is just make sure that they are as clean as possible. What I do with my flame sensor is I'll take a piece of sandpaper and I will just sand off the end and get the metal looking shiny. It's just a little stick of metal is all it is. And it just senses the heat. It senses the flame. And by cleaning that little bit of corrosion off, it minimizes the opportunity, or minimizes the furnace having a misfire. And the glow stick as well. And the glow stick is very sensitive, so you can't go scratching on that with a piece of sandpaper, and you'll actually break it. If you go putting too much pressure on it. But you do want to check it, at least look at it, and make sure there's no corrosion or spider webs around it. But those are some things that you can do. Check your igniter, check your burners for spider webs, check your flame sensor, change your filter, get your vents cleaned, and you will maximize the life of your furnace. So I hope this gives you a little bit of advice and some tips, and I hope y'all have a great day.